Yo guys, what is going on? So in today's video, I wanted to talk about my overall view on nutrition and diet for natural bodybuilding specifically. In the background, I got the chest workout from today, 270 for 4 on the wide grip bench, 280 for 4, and then 280 for 3 Spoto. Hit some dips afterwards and some rows and all the stuff. So the macronutrient I'll probably start with is protein, since you always hear about it in bodybuilding. Everyone's always like, you got to have, body weight in grams. You got to have like your anabolic window on point. You got to have like casein before you go to bed. You got to start your day with protein because you have not, you know what I mean? Like they're always talking about protein. And honestly, I think protein is not that important in a certain sense. I think it's massively overrated. And I think a lot of that comes from it being the most expensive macronutrient and protein companies wanting to just sell more protein, and then probably like big beef or whatever too, just like lobbying with the government. So for me, I would say in grams per day, I probably get around 150. Some days it's a little bit lower, and some days it probably ventures up to 200, but on average, it is probably 150. I eat about a pound of meat a day, sometimes a little bit higher, and I eat like beans and a lot of gluten. So I would say on average it's probably around 150, but I don't track any cows. This is a pump from the bench, and I think after a set of dips as well. And I would say that the most important thing for protein is probably that you're getting complete protein. And like people in the past have gone to war over getting, for a quarter pound of meat a day. So we are so privileged in our modern society to be able to be like, I need to have 250 grams of protein. And I really think a lot of it is unnecessary. The macronutrient I'm actually most concerned with most of the time is carbs. And around my workouts, I tend to have a ton of sugar. Just like this morning, I did my workout fasted. I had coconut water. Some mornings I'll go to the gas station, get like an Arizona iced tea with like 70 grams of sugar. I'll make my own lemonade. And if I'm making my own lemonade, that shit is going to be really fucking sweet. It's probably going to have 100 grams of sugar. So what I'm trying to say is around my workout before and after, I have tons of fast acting carbs, which is really nothing that new. Like that's pretty typical bodybuilding advice, but that's just what I find works for me. And then I usually save my fat for at night. I honestly have no idea how many grams I'm getting in terms of sugar, but it's probably around, or in terms of carbs, it is probably around 400. And then my fat is pretty low. And I would say, I really don't try to get fat in at all, but I do eat chia seeds and cacao nibs, and I had some 90-10 ground beef, post-workout. So it gets in there. But I'd say it's probably about around 100 grams a day on average. Obviously, some days it ventures a little bit higher, but that's probably about what my macro split is, if I had to guess. Again, I don't track, but I know intuitively, I try to really be in tune with my body and think about, when I'm craving something, what does that really mean? If I'm craving French fries, I work at this restaurant, and I was craving fries, so bad, and I was like, that's kind of weird. Do I just want carbs? But I think I was actually craving potassium. But no, I feel like your body will tell you what nutrients you need. So that's why I'm saying some days I have higher protein, some days I have less protein. But on average, it's about 150 grams of protein, a lot of carbs, a good mix though of fast acting and longer carbs. Around the workout, I have more simple carbs, and I try to get a lot of fruit in. I'll put, if I have oatmeal or yogurt or whatever, I'll put a lot of maple syrup or honey and blueberries and raspberries. And, the more fruit and veggies, to me, the better. I think that there's such a good food group. And especially as Americans, well, I'm an American, I would assume. People watching this video are American. We eat so much meat. And, meat's dope. Meat's great. I think it's, easily abused and not as necessary as people think. And I try to have a few eggs multiple times a week. And I try to have fatty fish a couple times a week. So that's like most of my views on diet. I mean, there's nothing like insane. I would say that, I'm trying to think of like some hot takes. Like I think butter is good for you if it's grass-fed, but I think that non-grass-fed butter is going to be dog shit for you because the fat literally changes in the animal when it's grass-fed. It becomes more like that of a salmon. So it's good for you. Obviously, like butter's super dense and has a shit ton of calories, so have it in moderation. Don't be ridiculous with it. And I think red's meat is good for you, again, in moderation. It's got tons of vitamins, and if it's grass-fed, it has a ton of really good fats for you. Obviously, it has tons of protein. I think tuna is amazing. I try to eat tuna every day. It has so many vitamins, and it's super lean, unlike a lot of red meat. At least like ground beef. I eat a lot of ground beef for my red meat, about 90-10. I prefer 93-7, but 90-10 is just usually what my mom gets. And then that's mostly it. Try to have usually my breakfast will be yogurt with just like everything in it, chia seeds, cacao nibs, any fruit I can find. I'll sweeten it as much as I want. And that'll be after I work out. I usually work out fasted or with like a coconut water or an orange juice. So like moderately fasted, but technically it's not fasted, obviously, if I have an orange juice. But I don't usually eat before I work out because I usually work out first thing. And then I will, at my work, usually have a salad with a ton of chicken on it, or I'll have like some burger patties, just depending on the day. Like I said, some days just want more fat. And then, yeah, throat's kind of dry. There's one thing I have not mentioned, and that's alcohol. And I don't think alcohol is like that bad for you. But obviously I wouldn't drink all the time. I think, once or twice a week if you want to have a few beers, you'll probably be chilling. The main thing is like, how do you feel the next day? Like you'll know if you drank too much, you know what I mean? So, 2 or 3 beers have a lot of carbs or alcohol, damn. Alcohol has a lot of carbs in it. Specifically, it has ethanol, which is actually a denser carbohydrate. It has 7 calories per gram. It's more like a fat. So it probably gives you crazy glycogen. I don't know. It also can dry you out a little bit sometimes. So I don't know. I'm not really an alcohol hater, but I don't think you should be drinking all the time. But that's pretty much all I got to say in terms of nutrition. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I feel like I don't have a diet plan, but I eat pretty healthy, just truly like intuitive. And maybe in the future, I'll take my diet a little bit more seriously. But that's all I got to say for now. And thank you guys for watching.